What is up, everybody? I'm Thor Gunnison, and welcome to another exciting episode of Sith Happens. We got a jam-packed show for you this week. A lot of Star Wars stuff happened this week. But first, I'd like to introduce you to my two cohorts from live from Shuttle Tidarian. We got Jedi Chris, or JC. What's happening, my brother?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting show. I've got some new stuff here in the background, thanks to Paradox Nerd. So anyway, good to be here.
Speaking of said Paradox Nerd, we got our bounty hunter. Paradox, what's happening, bro?
I will finish what you started. Hi, guys.
Do something different. That looks amazing.
How's it going?
Oh man, look like you picked up something this week, JC. You opened your Vader up finally, bro.
I did, yeah. My son and I, little Padawan, he helped me put it together, and then proceeded to constantly turn the lights on and off, on and off, on and off. So I had to hide the power cord. So yeah.
That looks awesome.
How does it feel to have your first high-level collectible unleashed, sir?
Honestly, amazing. It's wonderful. I mean, the fabric, everything. It's really nice. So I'll probably have another one here on the other side. I think Johnny gave me the idea of having some stormtroopers with this kind of backdrop. So that might be in the near future.
What's up, Paradox? You pick up anything this week, or?
In terms of Star Wars, nothing new, to be honest. I mean, I got a couple statues in, but I mean, besides that, I really didn't pick up anything. Comic books, I picked up the new, Darth Vader comic. So that one's been going really well. I don't know if you guys have been reading it or been caught up with it. So, but yeah, nothing really new. I really, to be honest, guys, I want that Millennium Falcon Lego set. Did you see? Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, it looks amazing. I don't know, like ever since and I'm sure we'll talk about it later. Ever since the trailer dropped, I've been just into like looking up the Millennium Falcon or like Star Destroyers. I really want to pick up some Lego sets and put them together with my kids. So. But besides that, nothing really. How about you, Thor? You picked up anything recently?
No, not as of late. Star Wars wise, nothing really on the horizon. Like I said, I'm looking to get that XM Luke maybe later on this year. But I found with XM pieces, if you just wait on them, the price go down. Because I've seen a couple people selling their Bobas for I seen one guy selling for $680.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then some guy here, but I think it, plus shipping. But I think the cheapest I've seen was some guy selling it for $800 shipped. So my new strategy with XM is just wait for it to be released and people start selling stuff or whatever. But for some reason the Star Wars ones XM they're not really catching on too heavy. That's good for people like me.
Yeah, me too, man.
Because all day long,
Yeah, well, me, like I picked up the XM Studios Boba Fett, as soon as it was released. So yeah, I was just like, now I see it for cheaper. It's definitely good for people who wait a little bit. And XM Studios is a beautiful, beautiful statue. They do really good work, and I'm really happy with my XM Studios Boba Fett. So,
but let's move on. We got a great show today. A lot of stuff happened this week. So first of all, the Solo Star Wars Story trailer got released during the Super Bowl last week, and the three of us did some reaction videos that we want to share with you now. And Mr. Wizard behind the counter, show us our reaction video.
That's creepy.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I was kicked out of the flight academy.
Whoa.
Wow. My own.
That land speed looks pretty cool.
I'm gonna be a pilot.
Oh, here we go. Wow. Nice.
I'm putting together a crew.
Lando.
Wow.
You in?
Oh,
That's yes.
wow.
That is amazing.
That might be the only person. Who knows
That. Whoa.
Ooh.
what you really are?
Killer robot. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
What's that?
Whoa.
Solo.
Get ready.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
Oh, shit. Whoa. What is that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Memorial Day.
All right,
wow.
guys.
So obviously, it looked like we all enjoyed the trailer. So anybody want to start off? You know, I know I got some opinions. JC, looked like you and the Padawan enjoyed it a whole lot.
That's correct. I actually recorded the show, and I didn't want to just sit and watch the other show. So my son and I were doing crafts and stuff. And then, you know, I said, "Are you ready?" And so we recorded it. And it was funny that you notice that we were responding to some of the same things at the same time. So, you know, he's really into Star Wars, and he's not even 7 yet. So the trailer, it was not what I expected. You know, it was actually, it really hooks you. And then you have, like, you know, the combat robots, and then the tribe of like folks with the shiny armor out in the desert. And, you know, it just, you know, definitely surprised me. So I'm really, now it left you with more questions, obviously, hence the teaser trailer. So am I excited about it now? Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. And like I've said before, I'm glad that they're releasing it Memorial Week, because that's my birthday week. And so I said, you know, thanks to Lucasfilm and Disney for bringing it back during my birthday week. So, you know, hoo-yah. What about you, PJ?
Oh man. To be honest, guys, like I really liked it. You know, it was an awesome trailer. First, you know, we all watched the Super Bowl, I'm sure, and they dropped the teaser trailer there, and I was like, all right, well, we'll see more tomorrow. And then finally, they dropped the full teaser trailer, and I was kind of blown away in how awesome it looked. You know, with the Millennium Falcon and how clean it looked. You know, like the Star Destroyer going through the clouds. I mean, how awesome was that? You know, and it was just, it really surprised me. The only thing I'm probably concerned about is probably, you know, Alden Ehrenreich performance in the movie. I mean, in the trailer, I mean, we can't judge on the trailer, obviously, but I just wanted to see how he was talking and how he was reacting. Basically, this is about Han Solo, and you know, with the prior news about like the, you know, like the directors getting fired, it got a lot of bad press before the trailer dropped, and you know, people were concerned about the acting of Alden Ehrenreich because they hired an acting coach to help him through the process. But with that being said, you know, there's been that trailer really kind of like wiped all my doubts about the movie. It looks really good. The Millennium Falcon looks amazing. I don't know if you guys noticed that the way it looked totally different, you know, from how the Millennium Falcon looks now. So, you know, I know that Han Solo made some modifications to the ship. It was a lot cleaner back then. All I have to say is that Chewbacca and Han Solo are dirty creatures, man. Like, that was like, compared to now, like how the Millennium Falcon looks, like, I mean, that one, it has some good, you know, it has a lot of changes. I'm concerned about like, well, not concerned, but I'm just kind of wondering what Woody Harrelson's character is going to be in the movie. I think he's going to be like the leader of some sort of heist. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think there's going to be some sort of heist going on. You know, I don't know. There's so many things that, you know, I would like to talk about, but I mean, overall, it was an amazing trailer. and I'm really excited to watch it in the movies. So, Thor.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the heist, my friend, because let's talk about that. First of all, I love the trailer. I'll say this. I kind of learned more from the trailer on Super Bowl Sunday than I did the one they showed the next day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, in Legends, I know JC knows this. Han Solo actually signs up with the Imperial Navy. And, this is where he meets Chewbacca, and somehow they ordered him to discipline Chewbacca or kill him or something like that. He refused, and then eventually he helps Chewbacca escape, and then Chewbacca owes him life debt. That's how they become friends. And it looks like they're following to that formula, at least from the outside looking in. That's what it looks like. The shot of when he's like sort of standing and looking up at the Millennium Falcon. I don't know if you noticed in the background, there's two suns in the sky. So I'm guessing that's Tatooine. So I think in early we're going to see Jabba, and from what I understand about Woody Harrelson, he's supposed to be some sort of mentor to Han Solo, probably teaching him the smuggling game. You know what I mean? And now when you mentioned Millennium Falcon is actually what kind of bothered me. I want to know exactly how long this movie takes place before A New Hope. Because in the original trilogy, they always emphasize that Millennium Falcon's a piece of junk, and it's refurbished, and they're always fixing it. The Millennium Falcon was brand new in this trailer. Even the interior, everything was like bleach white, and everything looks brand new and crisp, and there's no the paint, like you mentioned, the paint job, everything looks fresh on the Millennium Falcon. So which is kind of strange. I'm saying it has to be at least 10 years. Because in A New Hope, Han Solo was 29, so I'm guessing he might be like around 20 in this trailer and everything. So I'm guessing it's at least 10 years. It's got to be, far as then we saw Lando, finally for the first time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this famous dice game that he wins the Millennium Falcon. And another thing that I start thinking about, what was it? To gamble, you got to have something to give up. So what was it that Han had that that's worth gambling a ship away to to put up in this dice game? And then finally, when you mention the heist we're gonna see, my friend, is the Kessel Run, and I think that's what was going on at the end. And I think that's why Jabba, they moved the spice from the spice mines of Kessel, and when he says 12 parsecs, it's who can do it in the shortest distance. And that's why he emphasized that the Kessel Run was done in 12 parsecs. So I saw a lot in this trailer, and I like what I saw, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
yeah, I just want to add that I was reading something recently, and this is something I give surprisingly a lot of credit to Kathleen Kennedy. Was that I think she brought, or maybe it was Ron Howard. She brought George Lucas to the set. And from what I read, and this is like something official, that there is a scene that he helped direct. He helped Ron Howard direct, and Ron Howard, he was, he looks up to George Lucas, especially since he was in American Graffiti, which that was George Lucas's first film, right? So I think Ron Howard looked to George Lucas for a lot of like help with making the movie, which adds, more excitement for me to the movie. Just the fact that, George Lucas was able to come in and just kind of give like pointers here and there and how Han Solo should be, because, obviously because he created the character. So, that's something I'm looking forward to. Kathleen Kennedy did not specify which scene that George Lucas direct, but she's definitely said that it's something that a lot of fans would recognize as, okay, George Lucas had his hand in this scene, so that's something I'm looking forward to, and it looks good. I don't know, what do you think, Chris, about Kathleen Kennedy and bringing George Lucas aboard?
Yeah, I recall seeing something about that online. So yeah, I'm eager to see if I can actually figure it out. I know the old style Lucas, and then of course with the later on the CGI stuff, he definitely has his own style. So I'm probably gonna have to see it a couple times to see if I can find it. But the fact that Ron Howard, who's an excellent director, like Backdraft and a bunch of other movies, but I'd like to see how his style in the Star Wars genre, Lucas, maybe some Lucas infusion into this, the production and directing aspect. But like I said, originally I wasn't very hopeful. I was like, how are they going to pull this off? Because I mean, all of us that read the books and the comic books, we have a pretty good handle of what we think about Han Solo, charismatic and all that. But seeing the trailer, I saw hints of the novels. I saw a couple little glimpses of like some of the comic book stuff. I'm nervous and excited because I would like him to stay as true to the books as possible. But I also know that books don't capture everything either. It's a story, it's a snapshot, so they still have some creative expression. I see the action, which again, you saw my expression, my son's expression. We're like, whoa! So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And yes, Lucasfilm and Disney, I'll be watching it at least 3 times, like I did The Last Jedi, just after the shock and awe, then try to pick it apart and really just get into the storyline. So I'm excited.
Just a quick thing I want to mention. How good does Danny Glover look like Lando? I mean, for me, out of the whole trailer, Lando was like really caught my eye. Like he was just like with a smile and just him dressed up. I'm really yeah. Not Danny Glover. What's his name? Childish Gambino. Yeah. So, but basically, Lando looks freaking awesome in the movie, and I'm really excited to see him like a younger version of him. So, do you guys know anything about Kira in the comic books or any?
I do not.
I wonder if because I know Han Solo was married before, right? Is that correct? Or
it was a sister though. It might have been the chick with the fro that they showed maybe. Because in the Star Wars comic book they showed her, and it was a black lady that he was married to. Supposedly, I think it was some kind of scam they ran or something.
Oh yeah, he had a string of girlfriends after that too. Being the traveling scoundrel, girl in every port type thing. So
yeah.
Spoiler.
Well,
I'm excited. It had that Rogue One feel to it. When you saw it, like I said before, I think they're doing the the Kylo Ren stuff for the kids, coming up, and they're trying to capture new, and stuff like this is for us, the classic type of situation. But I like what I saw. I had to admit it. I'm curious to find out who these Road Warrior looking dudes are.
Yeah.
So
can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
If they don't show Bubba, I'm leaving the movie theater.
Oh, they will. Go
Bubba, go home.
I'll give you the Stone Cold guarantee. He'll be there. Jai will be there. And I read that Vader's in there somewhere too. Which don't know why he really needs to be there. But I mean, that's my boy and everything. But I just don't see why to this particular story why he
needs to be in every movie.
Well, I think Vader is kind of like that pinnacle symbol of the Empire, the oppression, the darkness, the foreboding. So his cameo just kind of helps seal the chronological part of the movie. It's like okay, but yeah, I think it's necessary, and I agree. The Road Warrior, the Desert Mandalorian looking tribe folks look really scary. So I'm looking forward to some awesome fight scenes with that, and that battle robot too. Just wow. Oh yeah.
It had like a. Yeah, it had. Yeah, definitely. It has like that. Yeah, it has like the Blade Runner. It also has like the Mad Max kind of feel, like like with those Road Warriors in the in the desert and stuff. And he looked like he was like ready to like shoot them, like right? Like he was like unbuckling his pistol holder, and I can't wait. right.
Yeah, just like Indiana Jones, right? Just get ready to
Yeah.
Well, I think we covered this one. So moving on to topic 2. There's word that came out this week that Disney is going to be bringing back some of the characters from Legend, like say Darth Revan or folks like that. You know that they wrote about in Legend, which kind of relates to our next topic. We'll get to that. So, what do you guys think? Who would you like to see be brought back? You know, from Legend. We've already seen Grand Admiral Thrawn and folks like that be reinstituted, even though it wasn't in his particular timeline that we read in the books or whatever. But Disney has brought him into the story. So, Paradox, what you think, man?
Okay. You know, I am super excited for this news announcement, and I love Game of Thrones. It was I think DB Weiss, right?
We on Game of Thrones yet, Paradox. We on. Disney said that they're bringing back some Legends characters like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at
okay. That's our next one. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was. Okay. So for the Legends characters, basically, I would love to see Darth Revan. Darth Revan is probably one of my favorite, like, Legends character that I would like to see in the screen and be done right. You know, I played the Old Republic game, and that one blew my mind. And in terms of the plot twists and everything, yeah, Revan, to me, I hope they bring him to the screen. And just like that era alone, they could do so much. You know, they could write many movies, many stories, many comic books. So yeah, I'm all for it. So I'm really excited. I apologize. I was like in the chat talking about.
No, it's cool, man.
I was mentioning Danny Glover, but it's Donald Glover. So, JC.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that Paradox that I would like to, if we're gonna go Old Republic, definitely Revan. Malik. Well, I mean, Malik was with them. You see how he injures his jaw and has to wear the metallic plate with the vocoder on it, but or vocabulator, excuse me. But then you have the other ones, like from the Freedom Uprising and all that. You have Ula Kaldroma, Kaldroma's brother. Then you have Naomi Sunrider, Tat Donita, Oswillem. Those folks from the Old Republic that, I mean, the comic books and the actual audiobooks, their full cast audiobooks with sound effects and everything were just absolutely amazing. To see that on the television, be it live action or even cartoon, I would absolutely watch that. But I think if we're gonna stick with the current theme of the Empire and the Rebel Alliance and all that, I really want to see my girl Mara Jade. She was kind of in the background as the Emperor's hand, and she led, she had her own troop of stormtroopers. She was a Force user, but she kind of tapped into the Emperor's Force ability, so it was kind of a way he can control her. She was like a Force using spy. Of course, in the storybook, she ends up trying to hunt down Luke Skywalker. She kills Luke's clone, who's an evil clone, and then somehow they fall in love, and fast forward they have. So yeah, it goes on and on and on. So she's an amazing character, and I actually got to meet the actress that like posed for like the video game and the trading cards and stuff. So yeah, it's just that was epic for me. So I would like to see her show up. I know the video games like Star Killer, also known as Galen Merrick. I would like to see him in there, even if all they show is him going up against the Emperor and dying, and Juno Eclipse, takes off with General Kota and his group of freedom fighters. I like to see that on TV too. I think the storybook was amazing. Video game was pretty awesome. So to see it on TV and woven into the storyline would I think would be a selling point. Lots of action, a lot of raw Force ability. But who wouldn't want to watch that?
Yeah. How about Kyle Katarn? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, Kyle Katarn,
Yeah.
Kip Duron, what's his name, Cam Solusar, all these people that Luke kind of found, and eventually they had their own stories, and then Luke kind of found them, and they became part of the new Jedi Order. But to have them in there, I think would be, because it all came about during the whole Rebel Alliance thing. So yeah, good call on that one, because Kyle Katarn is another favorite character of mine too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I played all the Jedi Outcasts and all their games, so that's why I'm like a huge fan of Kyle Katarn and his storyline. So I will definitely love to see his story on the screen. I mean, this is guys, this is such an awesome time to be a Star Wars fan. I mean, minus the like with the Last Jedi and the divisiveness and like how we're all like somewhere for the movie and against the movie, but I heard that Disney's trying to pump out 2 movies a year. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Even though I didn't like The Last Jedi as much, I'm still going to love Star Wars forever. So, I mean, to have 2 movies, it's going to be awesome. Thor, I'm sorry.
Before I go, I forgot to mention, we're going to be giving, and for the Solo trailer, we're going to be, JC going to give you a question. We're going to be giving away this Kotobukiya, Han and Chewie. So I had to tape the side because the glue opened up, but that's okay. It's brand new.
Wow, that looks good.
If you want, I can go ahead and give the question now. That way it gives everyone time to look at it while the show is still going. And something that we're going to do from now on. So let's say at the end of the show, nobody guesses it right. I'm going to go ahead and give the answer just so it can be more informative for folks. So now, hopefully it'll entice them to go and read the book and learn more about what Jedi Chris likes to do in his spare time when he's not working or studying. So let me go ahead and give the question. So back in the Old Republic, back when they had the Jedi and Sith Wars going on, a book called Red Harvest. Get your Google ready. Darth Scabrous was absolutely, I guess lust would not be the proper word, but immortality is what he really wanted. Now, there was a process that had to happen in order for him to achieve this immortality. So to make it easy this time, instead of having 3-layered questions, what was the name of the plant that he needed for his alchemy in order to become immortal? And go. All right, moving on.
This is very exciting news as far as these legend characters. Obviously for personal reason, I would like to see Darth Talon. I mean, even though I know she's not, she's supposed to take place during what the Kylo Ren era. That's supposed to be Talon and her crew and Darth Krayt and all those kind of folks. But they didn't took Thrawn. He was in sort of the same time frame, and they put him into prior to episode 4. So for very personal reasons, I'd like to see Darth Talon be injected into the story.
Why is that, Darth Thor?
I mean, so I can pull out a stack of ones every time she comes on the screen, something like that. But Revan, I've always wanted to see Revan. Malgus would be cool. I mean, I think it's just leading. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Because that's something I want to talk about with our next subject. But this is Galen Merrick. That'd be off the hook. I mean, I don't know where they would fit him in. He actually be pretty cool. I mean, they probably had to switch it up a little bit. He would actually pump some life into this, Last Jedi and all that sort of situation. Maybe it's somebody Luke and trained or something like that, and they could have switched it up, or who knows. But Galen Merrick, if they could somehow fit him into the canon story, that'd be a monster.
Yeah, Darth Talon. I'm sorry, Chris.
I was going to say the Galen Merrick family crest of the twin-headed phoenix is what the Rebel Alliance adopted as their symbol. So I mean that would be easy for them to show that somehow, even if it's an anthology film, because Jedi Chris will be there to watch it 3 times at least.
Yeah. For me, I would. I mean, I know we get a taste of Thrawn in the Clone Wars. I mean, not Clone Wars, in Rebels. But I would really love a movie. Like, we have the books, but I would like to see a movie based off the books. From where he first started till his growth in the Empire. And I don't know, for me, like, that's something I would love to see. I know he's canon now, but to me he was always with the Thrawn trilogy before. We always thought he was part of the I thought he wasn't going to be canon, to be honest, when Disney took over and started announcing. But I was surprised too that they added him to Rebels, which is such an awesome thing. But I would really love to see a movie because I'm a big Thrawn fan. I love Thrawn. So, that's something I would like to see. Yeah.
Yeah, Thrawn, big respect to him. I love smooth, cold, calculated people. I mean, and he fits every single bill, on the show. And I'm with you. I don't know what platform they plan on using these characters on, because obviously we've seen them on the cartoon, we've seen some in the comics, movie wise. I don't know. I'm not quite sure they've bought too many far as in the movies yet. Yeah, I'm excited. But the Thrawn, definitely, he deserves. Who would you cast if they did make Thrawn and put him on the big screen?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Seriously, man, really?
No. I wouldn't cast Nicolas Cage. I mean, nah. I don't. Rich. I mean, Chris. What do you have anybody in mind?
No, I can't think of the actor's name, but that obviously the cool British chiseled features. I'm trying to think of the actor's name, but I can see him now with the face blue, the eyes red, slightly glowing, with that cold, cool demeanor. It's not the darkness; it's the cool, calculated look, like Thor was saying. I can't think of the actor's name, but yeah, there's definitely an actor out there that can pull it off.
For me, I would pick maybe Gary Oldman or Benedict Cumberbatch. What do you think about Benedict Cumberbatch? I mean, I see if you paint his face like
Cumberbatch would be good.
Yeah,
I kind of maybe Colin Farrell for me. Might do it. Because he needs to be a little physical. You saw him whooping all the, he definitely can hold his own also. So I don't know why. For some reason, Colin Farrell, I think might be able to pull it off. That's just my.
I don't know. I'm thinking of some of the films the guys you're talking about are in. I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking of somebody like very tall. Not very tall, but obviously,
Cumberbatch is tall.
Yeah. Actually, maybe. Yeah. I don't want to drag this one out because I'm trying to think of the actor's name, and it's going to bug the heck out of me. What? Jose Gonzalez? Did you just win the Chewbacca and Han Solo Kotobukiya? So, and the answer was. I want to hear it before I say it. The Murakami orchid, also known as the black orchid. And just for the rest of you folks, so Darth Scabrous, not only did he have to get this special orchid, it had to come with a Jedi. If they didn't make Jedis, obviously they went to the agricultural aspect to grow plants on planets and stuff like that, to terraform. So he had to not only make this chemical compound, he actually had to eat the heart of the Jedi that took care of the plant, why the Jedi was still alive. And if they didn't, turned into zombies. So the whole planet of Sith, because his test subject kind of got out of hand, he wanted to test it on somebody before he did it himself, started attacking other Sith folks. And so there was basically a whole town full of zombies. So yeah, it's a pretty dark book, but it
Oh shoot.
it's creepy, but it's kind of cool creepy, especially if you're into zombies and Court of the Dead and stuff. So imagine that mixed with Sith Lords and all that. So it just tells you how deep and dark the Sith folks can go to achieve power and immortality and things of that nature. So awesome. Well, congrats. Make sure you send,
Congrats, Jose. Woo!
Absolutely. So send it to the Collectiverse so we can get it shipped out to you. So congrats, man. Awesome.
Congrats, man. That's an awesome piece, man. Congrats.
We'll
I'm
piggybacking off of that.
I want to win that.
Let's move on to our third and final subject, which I know Paradox is waiting to talk about.
Yeah, no, jumping script. You're so excited about it.
So it's been announced that the Game of Thrones producers and writers have been commissioned to do a trilogy of Star Wars films. Now, just get ready to attack the Dark Lord. I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. I tried watching it. I mean, it was all right, but people Rodney tells me that you got to watch like 1.5 seasons before it gets really, really good. I was like, Vader ain't got that much time in his life. So, I'll get back to how I feel. Paradox, begin your opinion, sir.
Hold on. Wait. Thor does not like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
What the heck?
Well.
I mean, hey, to be honest, I didn't like Game of Thrones like maybe like the first or second episode. And actually, my wife and I were watching it together, and we watched the first episode. I'm like, what the heck is this? Right? What the heck? Like, everything's going. There's too much going on. So I was like, all right. Well, I stopped after the first episode, and my wife continued watching it. And she was in like the 6th episode. I came back in, and I'm like, what's going on? And blah, blah, blah. And so. And I started watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is actually pretty damn good. So I started from the beginning. I got through the first 3 episodes to the, and kind of like had like a guide on the side and to try and see where all the families were and who aligned with who and what. So long story short, they are great storytellers. I mean, Game of Thrones is one of my favorite shows on TV, and the magnitude of the story and the amount of characters and families, and for the directors to bring them all together and see where they are now. If they do Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic, it is in good hands. They are great storytellers, and I'm really, really excited for this announcement. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, you maybe Chris can help me out or Thor. There's a lot of families involved, right? Like, there's a lot of storylines, and to bring that together can not be in better hands than these directors. So I'm really excited. This is such an awesome announcement, and probably one of the best moves Kathleen Kennedy has done in her Star Wars career as a producer. So Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really follow the Game of Thrones show. I've seen parts of a couple episodes, and I think it was done very well. I mean, it's obviously it's science fiction, yes. It's but you've got the drama, you've got the action, you've got the different families and all that stuff. And I know the Old Republic has the families, and because back in the day, Jedis were allowed to get married and have kids, and so you'd have generations upon generations of next Jedis and stuff. Then you had the Dark Jedi who branched away, and then you had the Sith Lords, and the Rule of Two and all that. So I think if they wanted to go that route for a trilogy, I mean, as Paradox said, there's so much they can do. There's so many stories and video games and characters from that era. They can go any direction. They can even just touch on the books, touch on the video game, and go completely wild, creative expression, and we will watch it. If they decide to go character base, like they had the Han Solo trilogy, they had the Thrawn trilogy, they had the Lando Calrissian trilogy, You know, I think I mean, let's face it. It's the characters when you're watching shows like the Game of Thrones and the other shows. I mean, you follow the characters, you follow the storyline, but it has to get your attention. And again, like we talked about in the movies, the characters have to resonate with either you or like how you want to be or how you see yourself, or somebody that you absolutely don't like. You know, now you get this bad guy. He's like, oh my gosh, that's like somebody, you know, from my previous job, or you know, when I was in high school. So to me, I think that's an excellent choice, excellent move. You know, Miss Kennedy for picking those folks. Now, can you at least throw us, at least our show? Can you throw us some hints on what era that you're gonna kind of take that trilogy chunk? Because let's face it, you've got this giant toolbox of stuff. I mean, you can make movies until, you know, my son becomes a grandfather. And yeah, I for some reason I would like to see the Old Republic in action, like Paradox was saying. I think it could just go nuts. I mean, because back then the lightsabers, before they became, you know, independent with the hilt, they used to have cables connected to a power pack on their belt, so their fighting style had to be modified in a certain way. For folks that don't know that, so we can see the old and dirty and the low tech and the and it kind of fits in that whole era of the Game of Thrones. You know, you got, you know, the royalty was about as clean as you got. Everyone else was, you know, was kind of dirty and all that. And I'm saying dirty, corrupt, just, you know, not as hygienic as we are today. But yeah, so I'm on lots of caffeine. Sorry, so I'm gonna keep talking. So Thor,
keep going, man. Keep going.
I know, like Thor. I know you don't watch. I know you don't watch the show, but you know the creative writing style that they have. So imagine a group of folks that really can extract the different levels of the character, or the character dynamics with family and foes, and that corruption of trying to gain favor and things like that. I mean, what kind of era would you like to see as a standalone trilogy, or, you know, somewhere woven into the current timeline that we all know just on the movies?
Well, before I get to that, I will say this. I'm, you know, like I said, I'm not a fan. I'm not condemning anybody else. You know, that's your show. That's what's up. But what I do notice is that everybody who is a fan, everybody loves it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not even love it or hate it. Everybody loves it that watches it. You know, so that's a good sign. And the fact that they hired them screams to the fact that this is probably going to be Old Republic. It looked like they're getting them to develop some sort of culture or some sort of civilization, you know, that require, like you said, different, you know, houses and you know, situations like that. Now, me personally, being a Sith Lord, I would love to see the Sith Empire at its apex when it's like hundreds and hundreds of Sith. And on screen, I have always wanted to see some Sith cross blades with each other. You know, we saw it a little bit on Clone Wars when Sidious fought Maul and Savage Opress, and that was spectacular. Thank you, Dave Filoni. So if we could see some more situations like that, then I'd be a happy Sith Lord. You know, so I'm in favor of it. You know, I think that is a bold move for Kathleen Kennedy. I can't wait to learn more about it. Even though even now we saw some. You know, I don't know. Now that I'm kind of in doubt, because now just, you know, this week, toward the end of the week, they were saying that a Old Republic show might be coming on Netflix or whatever this Disney channel they're supposed to be developing, because, you know, they're supposed to be pulling all the Marvel shows off of Netflix. So I'm guessing that includes Star Wars also. Uh-huh. So I don't know if it's, you know, movie wise, if it's going to be, you know, Old Republic, because they're talking about a show now. You know, but we'll probably talk about that more in depth like next week. But yeah, that's a good move. And like I said, for me personally, I want to see the height of the Sith Empire.
Like back in the Darth Malgus days, where right, you know they had all the Sith aristocrats, and he like frowned on people who drank alcohol, because a lot of the Sith aristocrats did that. So he was all about power, and kind of had the pre-Darth Vader breathing apparatus on his face. So I mean, he is amazing. Probably one of my favorite. We got Revan, who was good and went bad and went good again. You got Malik, who just went bad and got all mangled up, and Revan took care of him. But then, I think Amalgus, because the book, they don't really show, like, he storms off. Then what happened? So I agree with you. I think the Height of the Sith Empire would be awesome because it would fit that kind of style of Game of Thrones, so to speak, but just a bunch of Sith Lords.
Yeah. I mean, like, you guys watched the cinematic trailers of the that video game, The Old Republic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how amazing if they could bring that to the big screen. Like, all those, like, I mean, you saw the one cinematic trailer where they crashed into
Jedi Temple. Yeah.
Jedi Temple, and all you see it was, I mean, come on.
And the old school Mandalorians helping him out to help raid the Jedi Temple and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
love that. Hey, there's old Mandalorians.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to. And you remember in one cinematic trailer they had Darth Malgus with his master. Chris, do you know the name or Thor the name or what Malgus's master? But that scene alone where they're like fighting that
was when they were in the hangar, that it was like a hangar bay and they were fighting, right? Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my god. I watched that scene so many times, and how amazing the fight choreography. I mean, it's a freaking CGI trailer, and I saw like how epic just doing a movie of the Old Republic can be. So I'm really excited, and it's in good hands. It's one of those things, like, I haven't been this excited for anything Star Wars related ever since they announced Episode 7. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. What was it? I remember telling my wife, because she's a big Game of Thrones fan, and she, and we went to go see Last Jedi. She wasn't crazy about it, big surprise. But when I told her about this, then, I might start watching Star Wars films now. So I was like, okay, that brought you in, right? Some Game of Thrones. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not into it, but for what I've seen, it looks like we're in good hands. Going forward with this. Like I said, it looked like they brought them in to develop a culture, and create civil, like a large scale type of battle type of situation. So yeah, that just screams Old Republic. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I just want to see like the different type of lightsabers and colors, and that's going to be something to look forward to.
Temple guards, all kind of.
Yeah, as far as Malgus's master, I'm trying to think if it's like Vindican or something like that. It's again, my brain's all garbled right now, but again, it's that dark those names that mean like torture or suffering or what have you. So
because that was an actual race, right? Was the Sith, or I mean, like, was that they were red?
They were a race, but during this time it was like the Sith Empire as we know it. A lot of they had gained traction, but they all wanted to be the man. So they're killing each other off, and no, I'm the man. I'm, think of the mob. Everybody wants to be the boss. So everybody's getting whacked. So it's pretty much like that. You know what I mean? Sort of like that. Think of it like that. And whoever's more powerful, they want to be in charge. So
yeah, because I think they were called Sith. Like, they were called the Sith purebloods.
Well, yeah, like, back in way back, we thought there was a Sith civilization. Yeah, and that's how the Sith got its name from the actual race called Naga Sadow, right, JC?
Yeah, they were red, and they had like these little red tendril like things. And I'm trying. Well, they said Sith, but they were something else. I mean, I'm trying to remember. It was like Korriban, and there was one other planet where you'd find them on, and then of course the humans and the non-human species that were practicing the dark arts. Darn, it's gonna bug me now because I can see them.
say?
Because like when Revan gets captured, he gets captured by a guy named Scourge, and he was the Sith species. And for some reason, like, man, I can't think of it right now. Again, it's got all this stuff garbled in my head. It's got to get out. It's got to get out. Share with you. So, but anyway, I carry on. Paradox. I'm rambling again.
Yeah, no, because the reason why I meant the reason why I mentioned it is because I think in the cinematic trailer, that was Darth Malgus' mentor or his master that he killed. So I would just want to know, like, that was something like you guys knew about or or read about, because I didn't really read too much of the Old Republic too much.
Yeah, I know Malgus, like I said, he felt that the Sith were becoming too aristocratical, too complacent, and not holding to the true values of what the Sith should be. So he basically he had enough and kind of went on a bit of a rampage. So those that angered him or what have you, he just disposed of them, so to speak. So
Yeah.
but yeah, again, raw force power, bringing ships down from the sky, things like that. I mean, he'd be an awesome character to make a trilogy or even a standalone. But yeah, I would definitely watch it.
Yeah. But 2 movies, guys. We're gonna get 2 Star Wars movies every year, and that's the goal of Disney. And that's such an awesome feeling. I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna be buying so much merchandise. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, I already noticed we got Game of Thrones people. Like, I know, Phasma. I know she's from Game of Thrones, and the guy from Talk to Conjure Club. I know he's from Game of Thrones. And so we already got like several Game of Thrones actors that's already in Star Wars. So I guess it was just a matter of time before they brought the writers in. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that'd be great. I figured it was a matter of time before more Star Wars movies be released, per year, because I figured they want to do it like Marvel. We're getting all these movies, at least 3 movies coming out a year. So I figured sooner or later, we'd be getting multiple Star Wars movies per year.
Yeah, that brings up the next question, because right now we'll do what Han Solo in May, and then what December we're gonna see, episode 9. Or are they gonna take a break this Christmas?
Yeah,
and then
it's Han Solo, and then next year, episode 9 comes out. I believe they might be switching it back to May, when the movies are coming out, because I think that's why they changed Han Solo. And then maybe because I heard they wanted to do that. They wanted to stop doing the Christmas thing, I think. So I believe next year that the episode 9 will be coming out in May.
Okay.
It might be long, but I think that's what's going to happen. So.
But like you mentioned before, Thor, basically this is a really good move by Kathleen Kennedy from a business standpoint, because like you said before with your wife, she wasn't interested in Star Wars movie. Now she's interested, because now you're bringing all these Game of Thrones fans who said, "Oh, our series is better than Star Wars." Blah blah blah. Now they're gonna come to the dark side, and then and follow these guys over to Star Wars universe. So it's gonna be interesting, and I hope it comes out soon. Just one of these things, they announce these announcements, and it takes a little bit for them to make it. So I just can't wait.
Well, only time will tell. We'll just keep our ear to the ground, and appreciate you all watching. Been a great show, and congratulations to our winner. We finally got a winner after 3 shows. So
yeah. Congrats.
We want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. TV show next week, and may the force be with all of you.
May the
force
force
with you guys always.
Cheers, I ain't got no saber right now.
You got a red cup.
That's fair enough.
Sith Lord getting his drink on today.
Well, it is a solo cup, so I mean,
Yeah.